Section 1 of the Pilgrim's Progress, in words of one syllable. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Timothy Luke. The Pilgrim's Progress, in words of one syllable, by Mary Godolphin. Section 1. As I went through the wild waste of this world, I came to a place where there was a den, and I lay down in it to sleep. While I slept, I had a dream, and lo, I saw a man whose clothes were in rags, and he stood with his face from his own house, with a book in his hand and a great load on his back. I saw him read from the leaves of a book, and as he read, he wept and shook with fear, and at length he broke out with a loud cry, and said, "What shall I do to save my soul?" So in this plight he went home, and as long as he could he held his peace, that his wife and babes should not see his grief. But at length he told them his mind, and thus he spoke: "O my dear wife, and you my babes, I, your dear friend, am full of woe, for a load lies hard on me, and more than this, I have been told that our town will be burnt with fire, in which I, you my wife, and you my sweet babes, shall be lost, if means be not found to save us." This sad tale struck all who heard him with awe. Not that they thought what he said to them was true, but that they had fears that some weight must be on his mind. So as night now drew near, they were in hopes that sleep might soothe his brain, and with all haste they got him to bed. When the morn broke, they sought to know how he did. He told them, worse and worse, and he set to talk once more in the same strain as he had done, but they took no heed of it. By and by, to drive off his fit, they spoke harsh words to him. At times they would laugh, at times they would chide, and then set him at naught. So he went to his room to pray for them, as well as to nurse his own grief. He would go, too, into the woods to read and muse, and thus for some weeks he spent his time. Now I saw in my dream that one day, as he took his walk in the fields with his book in his hand, he gave a groan, for he felt as if a cloud were on his soul, and he burst out, as he was wont to do, and said, "Who will save me?" I saw, too, that he gave wild looks this way and that, as if he would rush off, yet he stood still, for he could not tell which way to go. At last a man, whose name was Evangelist, came up to him and said, "Why dost thou weep?" He said, "Sir, I see by this book in my hand that I am to die, and that then God will judge me. Now I dread to die." Evangelist: "Why do you fear to die, since this life is fraught with woe?" The man said, "I fear lest a hard doom should await me, and that this load on my back will make me sink down till at last I shall find I am in Tophet." "If this be your case," said Evangelist, "why do you stand still?" But the man said, "I know not where to go." Then he gave him a scroll with these words on it: "Fly from the wrath to come." When the man read it, he said, "Which way must I fly?" Evangelist held out his hand to point to a gate in the wide field, and said, "Do you see the wicket gate?" The man said, "No." "Do you see that light?" He then said, "I think I do." "Keep that light in your eye," quoth Evangelist, "and go straight up to it. So shall you see the gate, at which, when you knock, it shall be told you what you are to do." Then I saw in my dream that Christian, for that was his name, set off to run. Now he had not gone far from his own door, when his wife and young ones who saw him gave a loud wail to beg of him to come back. But the man put his hands to his ears and ran on with a cry of "Life! Life!"
Sample complete. Ready to continue?